everyone. I'm Krishi Joshi, a high school junior in Lagos, Nigeria, and an aspiring pilot. I'm an outgoing person who's passionate about a lot of things in life and likes to look at things equally. I'm also a writer and a poet and try and give equal time to improve all my skills. Today, I'm here on behalf of the Teen Pop magazine. The Teen Pop magazine, which is the first online magazine for high schoolers that gives young aspiring journalists the opportunity to share their voice, build their writing portfolio, and receive peer feedback and mentorship in the editorial industry. If you'd like to write for them, check out their website at theteenpop.com. Today, I'm in conversation with a professional model, McKenna Joy. McKenna Joy is a fashion model based in New York, America. She's been the cover of Bazaar Politica Siberia and has worked for several brands. She's a gorgeous lady with a stunning body and a warm heart. We're glad to have you here, McKenna. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how about you?
I'm good too. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Who has been your role model and who inspired you?
So my role model, I have always loved Kendall Jenner. There's just been something about her. I feel like she's one of my role models. And then also Gigi Hadid, because she horseback rides and I horseback ride. So I was like, oh, like I can kind of relate. Like we live the horse life, but then the model life as well. So they've always been pretty inspirational to me.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, what is your famous work in fashion? Like, what is the most appreciated work that you have done?
I think the biggest work I've done is just lately I was in Belgrade, Serbia, and I was in Bazaar Politica. I think you want to pronounce it correctly. I don't have the accent to pull it, but yeah, I think that's been one of the bigger ones because that was my first magazine that was cover page that was out on shelves that you could just purchase. So I was pretty excited about that one.
Ooh, okay. So we were just talking about sleep routines and that schedule being messed up sometimes. So what would you say a typical day in your week looks like?
So my week changes every week. It's something different. So currently not currently, but recently I was just in Istanbul, and that was more like I fell asleep at midnight and I'd wake up around 9, 10, and then I'd go to castings all day, which would be anywhere from 1 to 5 castings. So that's an hour to 6 hours, sometimes 7 hours we were going to castings because we were driving everywhere. And then I'd come home, eat, watch a little Netflix, and go to bed. When I'm in New York, I'm out and about all the time. So that would be, I would work out a lot. I didn't work out as much in Istanbul, but with New York, there's so many gyms open that I would work out all the time. I'd go to yoga, I'd go to dinner, and then I'd go home. And both of them, I lived in model apartments, which is a whole interesting event. But then when I'm home in Detroit with my family, it's very relaxing. I'm never really ever doing anything, and I just kind of get to do what I want and catch up and see my animals. So it just depends what city I'm in.
Of course, and family is kind of the best place to be be comfortable and just be yourself around, I think. So that's natural. Yeah. Okay. What do you think about a certain fashion rules pertaining to what people can and can't wear? Do you think they exist for a good reason or not?
So I just want to be clear on the question. You're saying fashion rules on what people should and shouldn't wear?
Yeah.
So coming again, that's going to depend on the city. Coming from Detroit, if you're going to wear something really outrageous, you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. So I think that's the biggest rule. If you want to stick out and that's your goal, go for it. But I like to, oh, she looks nice, but I don't want to draw a ton of attention. Yeah. But if you're in New York, anything goes, everything is fashion. You can't tell anyone that that's not fashion. So this is a funny story. One of my roommates that I lived with, beautiful, stunning, like just obsessed with her. And she cut off one of the tops of her Nike socks, like the tube part, and then put those on with strappy heels. And I looked at her, I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah, we're going to the club like this. And I was like, no, we're not. I'm not going to be around you. She's like, you can't tell me it's not fashion. We went to that club. Do you know how many compliments she got? And I looked at her and I was like, no. So anything that you want to do in New York flies. So I think the rules are what you make them. So I don't think there's any bad rules. I don't think there's any good rules. It depends on the rules that you want to follow, but there's technically no rules.
Okay, nicely said. Well said. Okay. Whose sense of style do you wish you could try, but were too conscious about or too afraid to?
Um, Honestly, I feel like I try every style. I don't really care. Um, but if I had to choose one, it would be more the emo look. I don't think that would fit me. But I wear a lot of black on black, but it's more like the high class black on black, but I've never done like the dark chains. So I've modeled that and I felt weird the whole time. I was like, this isn't going well. But I think that's the one thing that I haven't tried where I was like, that'd be interesting to go for a day, but that I would not be ballsy enough.
Okay. Okay, well, what first drove you into the passion for fashion?
So what drove me into fashion?
Mhm.
Honestly, being told I couldn't. That's where it started. I was dating a guy and he was like, "You couldn't model. What do you mean?" I was like, "What do you mean I can't model?" No. He's like, "Well, I don't want you to." And I was like, "Well,
Whoa.
this is what's happening." So it was kind of because you can't, and I'm going to prove I can. And then I ended up loving it. I was never really wanting to stand out because I was already so tall. I always stood out. So I was always kind of wearing stuff that was like, oh, I don't want to stand out too much. I'm already 6 foot. I don't need any more. But then now I don't care because you got to grow into it. But I think what started it originally is people saying, "Oh, you can't do that," or "You can't wear that." I'm like, "Oh, you want to bet?" Like,
I think
let's
you
try.
proved them wrong pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
looking.
So, what?
No, I mean, I have to be honest. I might have stalked your Instagram, and you are gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I fell in love with it. I always liked being in front of the camera, but I didn't think I would be doing this ever.
I think it's wonderful. Is there anything that you don't like about the fashion industry?
So right now, and I know everybody talks about this, are the measurements on what you're supposed to be and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And what I don't like is that we're enforcing things that aren't healthy. For me, my whole thing is to be healthy. Like, I've been told you need to lose weight, you need to lose, 5 centimeters, you need to do this, you need to work out, you need to not do this, you just need to party all the time, that'll help. Crazy things. And I was always like, but I won't be healthy. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not healthy and I'm not happy. So I don't think we should be promoting people that are too skinny or people that are too large. We want to include everybody and make everybody feel comfortable. But I think as a model, you need to be promoting a healthy image and also some sort of a healthy lifestyle. If you want to live your own unhealthy lifestyle in your own private, you do that because I know everybody does. But as someone that younger kids would look up to or see at a billboard or see in a magazine, I don't want to be unrealistic because what I have for my body is what I just am. It's unrealistic for some, but I'm also can't reach other people to get as skinny as they can. I can't get as thick as they can. Everyone has their own body, and I think that needs to be accepted. So I don't like that rule, and I don't like that the fashion industry is promoting unhealthy images, bigger or smaller. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think you just need to be healthy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I stand on it.
Yeah. Okay. What are some of your favorite looks from designers?
So I worked with one designer. Her name was Brie Original Designs, and she actually has been doing really well lately. But she actually helped me get signed in New York because I worked with her, and she's like, "I love you. I'll help you." And then I ended up getting signed. But her dresses were always just different and bright and happy and crazy and butterflies and pink and rainbows. Like, it was just, they were so fun. Like, everything that you pull out, you're like, oh, this is cool. It's got huge sequins. So that was a really fun one. And then there was another one that I worked with in Turkey that did like really high end dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really interesting to try on because I would never wear them anywhere. So I'm like, I don't know where else I'd wear this. Like, I wouldn't even wear them to a gala. It's, a Turkish design.
Mm-hmm.
So in America, I couldn't picture it, but it was super cool to be able to wear like that type of stuff. So I think those are my two favorite designers.
Okay. So this is rapid fire now. All right. You can answer as fast as you can. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question: top fashion icons.
Tyra Banks, Kendall Jenner, Gigi Hadid, Emma Ratajkowski.
Okay. Favorite clothing store?
I live in Forever 21. It's cheap and you can make so many things work. So that's where I live.
Nice. An outfit that was uncomfortable but was fashionable, so you continue to wear it.
Oh, there's a few with sequins that they itch and you're like, oh, it looks so good though, like only for an hour. So anything with like sequins that is made wrong.
Okay. Favorite brand?
Favorite what?
Favorite brand?
Brand? Ooh, Kate Spade.
Okay. That's it. Okay. Thank you for joining us, McKenna. That'll be all for the interview. And it was a fabulous time talking with you. And I think we all learned something about you and learned a different, like the inside aspect of it. And it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Thanks. I had a good time talking to you too. And I hope you have a fantastic night. And if you need anything else from me, let me know, because I know the one story. I'm a weird storyteller, so I know the one story I went and sidetracked. So if you need anything, just let me know.
No, that was wonderful to know, honestly. And it was a part of your journey. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
interesting.
no, I just get sidetracked. I'm not the best storyteller when I'm thinking on memories. I get excited. So
I think that's what makes life interesting, right? The stories and the emotions that come with it. So
yeah, the random thoughts that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to our listeners, viewers?
I would just like to say, as much as we have, let me phrase this right. As much as we have with all the social media and all the fake that you see, you need to remember, like, even as somebody like me as a model, like all of my images get retouched. You know, my face is not that clear, I promise you, or, you know, I don't retouch my body, but a lot of these girls aren't that skinny. A lot of these girls don't have that, wow, how does she have that butt and that tucked stomach? Like, it's almost all retouched. So you got to remember what is realistic and what's not. And you want to try and follow the people that are very realistic. So that's what I try and be for my followers, is realistic with the little, you know, I take out my pimple, but, you know, I want to make sure that I am a realistic person and I'm not Barbie. So that's what you got to remember.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Have a good day. If you'd like to know more about McKenna and her journey, stay tuned with Dirty Pop Magazine. Thank you and have a nice day.